We're building a spray park there. And again, I did not have to raise Islip taxpayers' taxes to do that. I was getting our fair share from Albany.
So you're getting what Islip taxpayers said to Albany, reinvested.
Exactly. And we really started from government needs to know that everybody's on the same page. And the problem is it's hard to move forward when you have fighting groups. Bring them together first, hear their opinions, and let's draw it up.
I want to talk to you about this phrase that's called new urbanism and what it means to you, what it means to the town of Islip as you're looking to create the type of housing that you just described for young people and redevelop downtowns. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll finish our conversation with Islip Councilman Steve Flotteron. Don't go away. Welcome back to Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. In our studio today is Islip Town Councilman Steve Flotteron. Councilman, I want to throw out a couple of words that people use today to describe development and redevelopment. One is smart growth. The other phrase is transit-oriented developments. Then you hear things like next generation housing. And finally, another buzz phrase is new urbanism. What does that mean?
That means some people also get feared by those words. They feel the Queensing of Long Island.
Right.
It's just that smart growth is in the right places where redevelopment can happen, which is sometimes in our old downtowns. The downtowns that could use a new push of redevelopment, such as in the town of Islip. It could be downtown Bayshore. It could be maybe parts of Islip or Brentwood in the downtown by the train station. So you have other options of housing. Somebody that maybe wants just a studio or a one-bedroom co-op, condo, or rental, walking distance to the deli, to the train station.
So what are the values or the qualities of a smart growth community?
Well, some of the smart growth communities is walkability to all those things. And it gets to not everybody wants or is able to afford to have our 3,000 square foot home and a property. For example,
well,
I have children. My daughter's 25. Does she want to have a 3,000 square foot home? No, she might just want a one-bedroom co-op. And I think part of our problem along is we lack product. And that's where we're losing our brain drain is because of lack of product.
So how do you use those concepts, new urbanism, transit-oriented development, and have that apply to projects that are being considered or that you would like to see? Give me some concrete examples of how you've utilized those philosophies to improve a community.
Well, one of the first steps was like the visioning I said before. It's also educating people of other things out there. And so we did a visioning to get a taste preference in town of Islip, the Bayshore community for a project. And because right now the builders are always giving you the same stuff. How do you change it? And for example, we had somebody on the screen, they showed a CVS drugstore. Everybody said boo boo. And
you were asking people to rate it like on a 1 to 5?
Exactly.
Okay.
And 1 to 10, and they gave it like a 2. Then they saw another store, it was a Georgian Colonial, and it had a CVS in it. They gave it a 10. And that we learned from that, and that the people want good architecture with good materials.
Well, you know, it's funny you should say that. I live in a community, Babylon Village, and there is a new bank going on the corner of Route 109 and Main Street, Montauk Highway, and it's modeled after a beautiful bank that's built in Islip.
Yes.
In Islip. It used to be North Fork, now it's Capital One. But I looked at it, I said, wow, that is a beautiful bank. It looks like something you would see in New England or Nantucket with beautiful cedar shakes. And
it looks like a 100-year-old historic building.
Yes.
And again, that's good design, good materials. It's not the standard box art. People will accept things if you design it right. And a good example, even urbanism that looks beautiful even to this day, that's nationally known, Forest Hills. What is part of the design?
That's right.
And in some of the things you see there, you know, they don't have much property, but why does it look so pretty, the streets? Because the cars are hidden in the back. All you see is lawn on their boulevard, and little things like that, working to design it, so it can become acceptable. But one thing happened in this one community, Sunnybrook neighborhood, they call it in Bayshore, right near the train station. It was a derelict piece of property, and usually it would always end up going there as a new home that is some slumlord buys and puts 3 families in it. I said, let's change the model. I said, why don't we build a magnificent home that looks like you would expect to be, you know.
But that costs money. How do you induce a developer to do that?
Well, I was able to show the developer is that you take your 3,000 square foot home, instead of renting it out to 2 families, which was illegal, is why don't you make it legal and make it 4 units. 4 small units, 4 one-bedrooms. Maybe it's 700 square feet each. It's no bigger. And in the long run, instead of that developer selling the house for $400,000, he might get $800,000 for
Now,
the
this
home.
is an existing side of an
Yeah,
area that
exactly.
you're looking to redevelop.
It was a very problem police-wise and everything else.
So we know what's there. That's horrible. What are you thinking of? What do you encourage you to be redeveloped?
Well, I think hopefully the next picture is Center Hall, turn of the century, colonial cedar shingles.
And that's what you're talking about. How many apartments are in those?
And that house, which I would love to own, if it was, is actually 4 condos. I think 4 one-bedrooms, or I think one of them might be 2-bedroom.
Where would the parking be? Oh, there's the answer.
Well, normally this probably could afford 4 houses. We're going to have 2 houses with a big barn in the back, and that barn has another 12 units in it. So we're changing the whole idea of that community. It's getting home ownership. The developer is actually going to make a lot more money, but in return, the community is going to get ownership and better materials. Slate roofs, copper gutters, cedar shingle. So totally changing, raising the bar in the community.
You know something? I have to have you back. We have run out of time. We have to do a whole Meet the Leaders on what you're talking about in terms of how do we create smart growth, transit-oriented communities where you're using the best materials and the best design to transform communities that frankly have like a 1950s, early 60s look and create something that's got a big wow factor. So I want to thank you for being here, Liz. We'll have you back. Again, I want to thank Islip Councilman Steve Flotteron for being here today. And don't forget, you can catch Meet the Leaders on demand. Just go to channel 502, select Local on Demand, and choose Long Island. Thanks for watching Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. I'm Pat Halpin. We'll see you next time.